cause our hearts to be open, cause us to receive your truth, teach us how to interpret this truth into the circumstances of our lives, and cause us to profit by your wisdom in Jesus' name. Amen. If you're for this service, you should be down here and seated as close as possible. What did we teach on last Sunday? The answer is not in my eyes. Well, probably 3 Sundays ago or so, I opened it by calling it the mid-year review. And I said at this time of the year, the middle of the year, it's very important that we do a review so that we're not just hoping that things will happen when nothing is going to happen, or at least we can account for what's happening, or we can make things happen. We can measure our progress, right? We can measure our progress. I'll preach better if I stand here, right? Amen. That's what I want. So we can measure our progress and also know how to push things forward. Because for the most part, people live in assumptions. People assume they're making progress when they're not. People hope to make progress. People wish they make progress. But are you really making progress? Are you making profit? Where were you when the year started? Where are you now? Can you measure the distance between your point A and point B? Has there actually been a move from a point A to a point B? If there's a point B, is it a desirable point B? Am I moving in the right direction? Movement is not the proof of progress, because people move backwards. People can retrogress. Progress is forward motion, retrogression is backward motion, but it's movement. So the fact that there is movement does not remotely tell us that it is progress. So our ability to decipher what kind of movement, interpret what kind of movement, measure our movement, and weigh it against the backdrop of our goals at the beginning would tell us whether or not we are progressing or not. We can progress. Yes, we can. And let me also add here that favorable movement is not necessarily first measured by how much we have in our bank accounts. That's not the first place to measure whether you are growing or progressing. It's not the first place. Because essentially success begins on the inside first before it reflects on the outside. If I want great success around my life, I must first make it happen on the inside. How do I make success happen on my inside? Learning, targeted learning, intentional learning, strategic learning. So I know the goals that I have set for the year. I interpret the goals into the responsibilities I need to undertake. I understand the competencies I need to develop. Then I have started learning the things I need to learn, reading what I need to read, growing my ability to grasp, to interpret, to be resourceful, to be relevant in the areas where I want to be relevant. So that growth starts on my inside. How do I even know that I'm growing on the inside? The ease with which I can prefer solutions that work. Right? My ability to tackle situations that were once complicated to me. The capacity to get results in areas where I couldn't get results previously. My mode of thinking. My ideas. Make sure there's no empty seat in front of you. My ideas, the quality of my ideas. Then the ability to draw roadmaps from my ideas into actualizations. All of these are proofs that I have grown. If what once looked complicated is now easy for me to tackle, I have grown. Hear me, people? Growth truly begins on the inside first. Then you can begin to power things on the outside. Your life will reflect the capacity you have built. Your life will reflect the capacity you have built. I'm teaching on upscaling for next level. And I remember the one thing I said I was going to focus on in the service today, in the third service today. Upscaling for next level. You can't assume that you've grown. You know when you're growing. How do you know when you're growing? If you're intentional about feeding yourself, then you can be certain to an extent that in the course of time, the nutrients from your food will reflect in your life. If you haven't read a book this year, you haven't taken a course this year, you haven't learned a skill or improved on a skill, you haven't upgraded this year, you haven't sought counsel, as it were, in your area of interest or concern, you're standing by the sidelines. You're a spectator. No matter how many goals are scored, none is going to be credited to you. You can shout, be excited, but you're not in the play. That's the truth. So you are only involved when you begin to take the steps, to do the things that you need to do, that you need to learn, so that you can function in the place where you need to function. So let's rewind and take it back to the beginning. This is June, and we have 6 months till the end of the year. What do you want to achieve? Write it in your book. And if you don't have the immediate answer, just write the question and think about it when you get home. What do you want to achieve the rest of this year? You be serious now and be truthful to yourself. What do I want to achieve within the next 6 months? What do I want to achieve within the next 6 months? People pursue money and miss the mark. And the reason is simple. They don't do what it takes to attract money. They simply chase money. Chasing money without doing what it takes to grab money, keep money, multiply money, it's like chasing shadows. You might seem to see them. It will look like you're touching them, but that's all it can be. They end up being a mirage. But if you started now to ask yourself, what skills do I even need? This place I want to go, what skills do I need? This thing I would like to achieve, what skills do I need? And even if the answer, like the answer of many people will be, is, oh, I want to make more money by the end of the year. Come on, that's a permanent answer everybody has. I want to make more money. Okay, let's even use that. I want to make money between now and the next 6 months. Question is, what can you exchange for money? So you see, it takes us back there. What can I exchange for money? What problems can I solve in exchange for money? Think about it. So that should be your next question. What problems can I solve in exchange for money? It's good to desire to have money. How many people want to make more money? I'm number one, actually. Let me see number 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, I mean, seriously, I'm not joking, and I'm not just talking about the cliche, oh yeah, I want to make money. How many people really want to make money? Okay, how many people need to make money? I need to make money. So let me quickly finish, because we're going to the practical aspect of this class, right? Now, but you must know what you want to exchange for money. That's the safest way to desire money. When you desire money but do not know what you can exchange for it, you position yourself to be a thief. So when you desire money, you also prepare for what you want to exchange for money. In what you want to exchange for money, what are the things that count? Right? My abilities. What problems can I solve? What can I do? When we say what problems can I solve, some people think too far. If you can cook, you solve a problem. If you can braid hair or make whatever hair, you solve a problem. If you have skill to do certain things, you solve a problem. So that question takes you to where you ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do? I can farm. Okay, it's not enough that I can farm. Can I be more strategic with my farming? What will I farm? What should I farm? What can I farm? Do I have farmland? If it's yes, if my farmland is anywhere in the Calabar or Dupani axis, I know it's only certain things I'm going to grow on them, right? If it's a Dupani, maybe you're thinking about cucumbers, you're thinking about corn, you're thinking about stuff that can grow in that area. Do pineapples grow in that area? Yes, pineapples grow in that area as well. If my land is towards Biase into the Obubra axis, one of the major things I should be thinking about is cassava. Corn will also grow, but cassava, I can think about cassava and probably other things that can grow in that axis. There are some parts of Cross River State where melons grow. Not the regular melon for melon soup, watermelon. People grow watermelon, yes. People grow watermelon. Now, what you also do not know is that pepper is a fortune. Growing pepper is a fortune. I mean, big fortune. You just need to get the right species. Growing stuff like turmeric, that's a big fortune right there. Very big fortune. You're growing turmeric, you're growing peppers, you're growing, so there are certain things you can grow. Then there are species of cucumbers and tomatoes that will give you a lot of money. You must be strategic in farming. So you don't just apply labor and efforts and get very little. And the truth is, you just need to ask the right questions. Not many of us visit the Ministry of Agri, but go there. Ask a question. You'll be shocked that they have seedling and have stuff that nobody is coming for. And you're the one who shows up and they tell you exactly what to do. Some of these seedlings are already subsidized by the government. But because nobody comes, the people who are there help themselves to the seedlings. Did you know that there is a species of maize that is needed by flour mill? Oh, God. And that's a multi-billion naira industry. Flour mill, let me tell you something in passing. Flour mill never has enough maize locally. They always import. But they don't use the regular maize. There's a species. There's a particular species that they use for their feed. So the people in Nigeria who supply go to them. They get some supply documentation, right? And then they tell them the species to grow. And flour mill will buy every single grain that comes from that farm. And even with all the people supplying nationwide, they don't have enough. They still import. That's a big market. And it's not small money. Very huge money. The only challenge with that business is that the farms are usually subjected to theft. So if you can solve that problem, I bet you under God, in 1 year, you'll be a millionaire. 1 year. 1 year. And usually when they give you that kind of agreement, it's not a one-time supply. Once you demonstrate that you can supply them, you just continue. There are people making a lot of money quietly in this country. It's not everybody who's a thief. So those who have the mindset, once you see something good around someone, okay, it must be them. Yeah, they are stealing. No, not everybody is a thief. There are many people earning money honestly. So these are just examples. But think about pepper. I'm telling you, pepper. There are species of pepper that will give you a fortune. I'm talking of these things that they weigh and sell. Okay? So what are you going to exchange for money? What ideas do you have? What problems can you solve? What can you do for someone that will make the person pay you? That's where to start. Now, I can't even be talking about upscaling if I don't have an empirical level of something. Let's take an example. Let's say I cook so well. I actually cook so well, you know. But let's imagine that I was going to wrap a business around cooking. So first of all, yes, cooking for others, I'm solving a problem. You have busy bankers like, you know, I'm not going to mention their name. They're looking at me. Busy bankers like that who don't have time to go to market, don't have time to cook. And let's imagine I was going to do corporate marketing. And I went to the bank or some of these other places that have these kinds of people, and I'm marketing a product. What's my product? My product might be a certain pot of soup of a certain volume, a certain pot of stew, certain volume, and different kinds of stew. You know, let's start with orishirishi stew, mixed meat stew. That means it has the roundabout inside, it has the gearbox inside, it has... Don't even ask me what those things mean. Go and do your research. Do your research. Do your research. Then it has shaki inside. In the U.S. we call it tripe, you know. We buy. Just that the challenge is all of those things from our jabo animals. It doesn't taste exactly, but you have to manage. You have to manage. Anyways, it has shaki, has pomo, has... Where's TY? Okay. Is that her? Oh, okay, all the people that cook. How many of you do, how many chefs do we have here in the service? I mean, you cook professionally. Let me see your hand. Annie. Who else? We have quite a number of them in church. Okay, so okay. Isaac, you cook for bachelors, or apart from you, yourself and you, who else eats your food? Do we need to come to the table with antacid or something, like just have it in the back pocket so that... Hope you have very functional toilets in your house. Okay, well, I didn't know you cook. So, but you cook? Jonathan, was your hand up? You cook in your dreams or? Get out. Okay. Okay, so I cook, right? And maybe once in a while people get me to cook. I cook for an event and all. But now I'm thinking of upscaling my business. I want constant income. I want to be predictable as far as how much I earn monthly. Because if you're basic, you can't tell when someone is going to call you. You can't tell when someone is going to need you. You can be paid 50,000 today. You can be paid 200,000 tomorrow. You can even be paid 2 million the next day. But it's possible that in 6 months, no one has called you for a big event. Annie, true or true? True, right? Now, but I'm trying to get this thing to be constant. How many minutes do I have? I'm building. Okay, good. So I'm trying to get it to be constant. Now I want to market, right? So I create a product. Not just, I'm a cook. If you ever need me, call me. No, not just that. Now I'm creating a product. I'm targeting a market. So I said I'm targeting busy professionals, for example, who don't always have the time now. These people work Monday to Friday, in some cases Monday to Saturday, and they don't have all that time to go to market or do all the stuff. So I create products. My products are all of these meals, maybe specials. I don't eat 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐭'𝐥𝐥, but I know it's a thing around here, right? It's a thing. You know, and some other things people like, maybe fisherman soup, pepper soup, fresh fish, pepper soup, or some kind of soup or something, right? So I have all of these products and I have a measure that a pot of this, and I mentioned the quantity, is so and so and so. So I'm targeting them and I get them to order. So who knows, daily, weekly, I have people ordering from all of these places, and my business is to supply. Now, in reaching that market, there are things I should do. The person must represent the market properly. I cook very well, but can I carry myself in a manner that communicates with the people in this market, in this space, and can I represent them well? That is one. Number two, the packaging of my product. Sometimes we don't leave a mark on the people we serve because we're not excellent in service delivery. How am I going to deliver this service? Can I think about ordering a certain kind of pack, which is the size, and maybe a large quantity of it, and branding it in such a way that every time you see that and just see the logo, you know it's me. Right? So different kinds of meals, maybe jollof rice, eggplant, maybe specials, right? You can have specials with their prices and this and that and that. So in a week, I probably have 100 orders. In the course of time, I can tell you that my average monthly income from this business is this, because I have a clientele who will order, and on the average, I probably have a certain order coming in weekly. That's one way I can predict. I can now begin to say 100 packs of so and so and so of this particular product will give me this. How do I multiply this and how do I multiply that? Know what you want to exchange for money. Know what skills you have. Update your skills. There is a tendency that your creativity improves when your skills update. There is a tendency that your creativity improves when your skills update. You can't be in food and you're not exposing yourself to food situations, food programs, food exhibitions. You must be interested. You must be interested. People just sit, create things, give it a fancy name, and then they make money off of it. So the first time I probably heard about 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐿 was in New York. So in New York, we have a lot of Nigerians that cook our kind of food, jollof rice. So sometimes either when we have an event in church or we want to do something special, you can order, right? And it comes in trays. They can say a small tray of jollof rice is, a big tray of jollof rice is, a small tray of peppered chicken or fish, it comes like that. So on this occasion, and I'm thinking, I don't know if it was my birthday and we're ordering something or we had an event in church or something. So we ordered, and this woman made 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐿. 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐿 is just gizzard mixed with fried plantain. 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐿. You think it's one meal from the Caribbean islands, but it's someone's creativity. Someone's creativity. And then later on, I started hearing about it. If you expose yourself to food, you're very likely to stretch your creativity in that area, especially if that's your business line. Now, the next thing is uniqueness. What's unique about what you do? Why would I rather pay you than pay the next person? What's unique? There must be something unique. There must be something unique. Now, for specialized services, is it possible to give it a touch of that person's uniqueness? Is it possible that you go ahead and say, are you a pepper person? Do you want it a bit less salty, a bit more salty? How do you like your meat? Some people like meat hard. Some people like it soft. Some people like rice in between hard and soft. Some people like it soft. Some people don't like it soft. I don't like soft rice. Neither do I like it hard. It just has to be cooked right. How do you cook it right? Now, that's your challenge. That's your challenge. Anyways, but how do you like it? Some people like chicken a bit chewy. Some people like it absolutely soft. You know, how does this person like it? I don't know if there's anyone in this life that likes more hard, but, apart from Teresa, is there anybody else who likes more hard? You know, yeah, I mean, okay, so that's it. So make it unique, and you can sort out that in that market. Give me an example of what you do. Who does anything? Who sells something here? I want to use something as an example. A product. Traveling boxes. Another product. Yes, sir. Phone accessories. Okay, phone accessories. Another product. Yes. What? Okay, you sell data. Skincare products. Okay, so you can make my skin shine. Okay, that's fine. Who else?
Jewelry.
You sell jewelry. Now, what kind of jewelry? What kind of jewelry?
I sell non-tarnished jewelry, wristwatches.
Okay, because you know, there's silver, there's sterling silver, there's gold. In gold, there are different kinds of gold. Romanian gold, English gold, you know, different kinds of gold. And then you have...
For now, I sell zirconia jewelry, stainless steel, a bit of gold, and wristwatches.
Okay. And I think there's... how's that called? Is that costume jewelry? Yeah, costume jewelry, right? So there are different kinds of jewelry, so that's what I was asking.
Thank you.
All right, good. Who else? You sell something. Huh?
Candle.
Oh, you sell candles? Yes. Okay, so what kind of candles?
White candles.
Just white candles.
Yes.
Okay, not like colored, scented, just white candles. Okay. I need to connect you with some prayer houses. You make money. She will make money. You know what? While they laugh, we make money. we make money. Okay, somebody else who sells something. Okay, you publish. So what do you sell? Think about it. You sell something. Yeah, you publish for people. You sell something. I need you to think about it so that you pull out the product. What do you sell? You guys do something similar. So you can rub minds together and bring out the product because there is a product. What do you sell? Yeah, somebody else.
I sell perfumes.
What kinds of perfumes? So we have name brand perfumes. We have imposter perfumes. We have oil perfumes. Then even in the name brand perfumes, there are different ones. The 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐿, we have Eau de Parfum, we have perfumes, we have ouds.
I sell oil perfumes. I sell Arabian perfumes.
Okay, you sell oil perfumes. Okay, fine. I like perfumes. So if you tell me perfumes, we're going to have a big conversation. Somebody else, yes. You sell hair, human hair. So like you catch people and shave their hair up and sell it.
Human hairs, yes, sir.
Human.
Yes, sir, human hairs.
Okay, thank you. Who else sells something? Quick. Let's.
Female clothing and accessories.
Female clothing It's Lawrence Ayo that's speaking. Don't worry. Okay, fine. Let's come back to class now.
My love.
If you know what you sell, the next question is, who needs me? Hair. Let's start with hair as an example. You and I know that the hair market is big. But as big as it is diverse. So you have the upper cater kind of hair. There's hair for almost any amount. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's hair for over 1 million. I mean, there's all that hair. Then there's the in-between 300 and 500,000 kind of hair. Then there's hair from 5K. Okay, so whatever hair, there's money in it. Don't think that there's more money in the more expensive ones than the less expensive ones. No. My point is, you may have to choose a range to specialize in. If you're choosing the lower range, it's possible that your targets will be low-income earners, maybe students, and some people in that income range. I am not suggesting that students don't have money. But on a good day, the regular student will not be taking 1.5 million to buy hair or 1 million to buy hair. Yeah, if you can afford it, but that's just an exceptional situation, right? Now, what kind of hair do I want to sell? Is it the other one? Is it this one? Is it that? Some people have a mix, but let's choose one. What's the average cost of your hair? Average cost. I mean, some will be more expensive, some will be less, but in between, what's the average cost?
The average cost is 100 to 150.
No, just choose one amount.
Okay, 100.
Let's choose 100.
100,000.
What kinds of people can afford that hair?
Students can afford. Some students, working class, can afford.
Okay, I need you to create a group, right? There has to be a market. I'm trying to find your market. Because if you know your market, you can direct your effort to your market instead of trying to sell to everybody. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that they try to sell something to everybody. Truth is, you can't sell one thing to everybody. Your business must be pitched at a certain range. The only business that can sell to everybody, systematically speaking, somehow, is maybe if it's a provision store. Because the provision store, everyone will come. But even in a provision store, how the store is will determine who will come there, generally speaking. So you can still position it to serve certain kinds of people. But let's talk about this here. So 100,000. What kinds of people? How can I reach the people who can spend 100,000 to buy hair?
It's through marketing.
I'm not even asking you to answer right now. I'm asking you to think. What groups of people can afford that kind of hair? You have to think of the kinds of people so that when you're marketing, because you're not just marketing randomly on the street, right? You have to go to certain kinds of places where you can find the people who can afford your kind of hair. Now, how many different types fall within the range of 100,000? How many different types of hair? Is it just one type of hair? One style of hair? Like how many types?
Straight hairs, both straight hairs, curly hairs, and bouncy hairs.
So you have a variety of hair.
Yes.
Where do you go to market?
I market online.
Online?
Yes.
So you target online?
Online, yes, sir.
Do you mind if I asked, what's the average amount you make a month?
Okay, the average amount, it depends.
Hold it. If you're not comfortable about answering, it's fine. But this is a business class.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a business class, so that's why I'm asking. If you would like to answer that, fine. But if you think you don't want to, I will pass.
No, it's Fine, I can
Oh,
answer.
okay, so answer.
Average amount is 50,000 a month.
A month. Now,
Yes.
how many pieces of hair do you think you can sell to double that amount? Just think, any number, just think.
Okay, 5.
About 5.
Yes.
So if you sell 5 in a month,
Yes, sir.
you can at least double your current profit.
Yes, sir.
So 5.
Yes, sir.
So it means your target, your minimum target each month is to sell to 5 people.
Persons.
Good. Now, when you market online, don't forget that there are metrics with which to target specific people. Do you just put it out online and hope that people would see? Or do you actually do social media targeting and marketing to where you choose the age bracket, you choose certain things? There are things you can choose so that your advert goes right to the kinds of people who can buy from you. So my advice is, now you know that you need to sell a minimum of 5, just minimum. I'm not saying you should sell only 5, but a minimum of 5. Start thinking about, I would say, let someone who's social media savvy speak to you, right? And show you how you can position the metrics. Because if this was, if I thought about it, we should have gone to Facebook, for example, on the screen, maybe my page or my profile account, and we'll try to promote something so that you see the things that come out. You can literally promote your product, targeting people in a certain space, right? In a certain space, certain kinds of people, their age range. You can even target professions. Yes, it's right there. You can select, and market so that your advert will be showing up in the timeline of certain kinds of people who can afford your products. So that's one way you're going to be visible, and visible to the people who can spend that kind of money. Let's look for another product. Who sells something related to food? Okay, candles. Who uses candles? Did you hear what she said? I said, who uses candles? And she said, cherubim and seraphim. Well, yes, but the money you're looking for, if you're selling to only them, because there'll be many other people selling to them, and they're just a limited number around your vicinity. So, yeah, some of them will buy from you, but how about others?
Since I'm into the market, I supply to my customers, so they come around and buy from them.
But do people still use candles a lot?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
People in the churches,
I haven't.
prayer houses.
Okay. That's the point. And you see, that's why it's good to talk about this. I haven't touched a candle a long time in my life. The only candles I have touched recently will be scented candles, because I have scented candles. You know? Yeah, I have scented candles. And sincerely, the ones I have in my house, we brought from the UK, we brought from, these candles that when you put them on, they're like perfume in the house. Okay, so, but the white candles, I haven't touched one in a very long time. So if people still use, I believe that kind of business, maybe some people in rural areas will still have people. And then the advantage of a candle is that it burns. So if you have one candle up in 2 hours, it has decimated. So there's a big market. So, but how do you reach this market? That's why I started by asking you, who needs you? Right? You said CNS. But, that's a tiny fraction of people who will buy from you. Is your dominant sales within Calabar, or are you thinking of going to some of these rural places? Because the rural areas, if you have your candles there, you're sure that every day someone is going to buy a candle. Because they literally depend on these candles for their light to a large extent. So, how much do you make from candles alone monthly, if you're happy to share?
Yes, sir.
Average.
Okay, at times 200.
Thousand.
150, yes.
Selling only in Calabar. Where would you like this business to go? Someone is saying, wow. It would amaze you what's going on in the business world. Yes. Yes. I thought Divine was going to tell me there's something else I know she sells. And I was expecting she was going to mention that. When she said candles, I was taken aback. But if an Igbo girl is selling something, bro, leave it. There's money in it. There is money in it. Okay, so where would you like this thing to be?
Like villages.
No. What amount? Where can we step this thing up to? From 200? Okay, can we make it 500? How can you make 500,000 monthly?
How can I make 500 monthly if I'm able to sell up to 150 cartons a month?
Wow. 150 cartons. See, I'm journeying in that business. Okay, I'm kidding. So 150 cartons. So now you have to start thinking, so distributorship. Why don't you forge relations with some people outside of Calabar? The coverage of your business matters a lot, right? If your business can't travel far, there might be a limit to how much it can make. Now, there are different kinds of businesses. So when I say travel far, for her, that it's a product like that, a physical product that is movable, I would say, think about how you can forge relations with certain people. Go to a place like 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐭. Everything is expensive in 𝐓𝐡𝐚 right now. Look for stores, big stores that sell stuff. Stores that can buy in cartons. These 150 cartons you're talking about, there might be one store that takes 50 or 100. Just one store. Go as far as Obudu. Look, when you start making money, spend your money to make more money. Don't just sit in one place and be comfortable. Have you been to Obudu before? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it means you've not been to Cross River State yet. Yeah, Obudu is the place. If you've not been there, you've not been anywhere else. Chisom, have you been to Obudu before? Oh, you've been to Obudu before? Wow. Igbo guys, man. There's nowhere they won't go to. Welcome to Cross River. You've been to Obudu. Yeah, I mean, that's one person who has been to Cross River State. Aranzeyo, have you been to Obudu before? No. Okay, so go somewhere. Ogoja is a very big place. It's an old town. It's big. 𝐓𝐴𝐵 is densely populated. There are all of these places. You can choose to have contacts in some of these places and see how it goes. It will surprise you that what you're currently selling in Calabar alone, one of these places might be able to sell that comfortably. In the course of time, you might be doing 10 times of what you're selling right now, where you can move that average to up to 2 million. Would you be happy to make 2 million every month from just candles?
Very well, sir.
Very well. Can we make it happen? No. She whispered and said money. No. What do you do with your current profit? Upscaling can be progressive. You see, there is incremental change. There's also disruptive change. Disruptive comes suddenly and big. Incremental comes progressively. You know, when you don't have all the money, you can plan. You can plan. All you need right now is to know that someone can sell candles for you in Obubra. Talk to Victor Keys. You know, in Obubra, in 𝐓𝐴𝐵, Ogoja, Obudu, and some of those places. And that's all you need. Then the next thing is maybe send 1 carton. You don't have to send 10 cartons for a start. Send 1 carton, see how the sales go. If they are making profit and you're making profit, and if it's selling fast, then you can double the quantity. With the same profit you make from there, you can increase the supplies. In time, you'll be able to sell 10 cartons maybe to each of those places where they're selling for you. And you'll be, so yes, you need money, but before that money comes in bulk, you can strategically grow what you have to feed the market. Is it 12 o'clock yet?
No, sir.
12:02. There's something about, there's a clock in the spirit. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. But that sounds like a very good business and something you can make a lot
Thank
of
you,
money
sir.
from. It also sounds like something you can do on the side and make plenty of money. Who else wants me to talk about their business? That's where I'm going to close. Okay, travel boxes. Yeah.
I'm a makeup artist.
Okay, makeup artist. Okay, so for makeup, again, who needs you? Almost like, okay, every lady needs you and da-da-da. But the makeup artists that I have seen that have a big following, there are two ways you can make money, right? Two ways you can make money, amongst others. Number one, you have to be creative with what you do. Two, you have to document what you do. There are people who don't document what they do, right? Do you have a studio or you just work from home? Okay, so let's imagine that you made your room look beautiful. You're not bringing people in it, right? You made your room look beautiful, even if it's a corner with just maybe your makeup stuff and all, so that you can catch nice videos. This is one thing you can do. You can teach people how to make their makeup, right? I've seen videos where someone is teaching people, let's say the 1 minute makeup hack or something. Give it a name, right? So you're teaching different hacks. You start building followership. In building followership and gaining viewership, you get monetized. Beyond being physically called to make someone up, you're actually earning in dollars. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're earning in dollars. You are solving a problem. You're teaching people how to. And yes, no matter how much you teach people to make their makeup, there are people who will still call you to come and make them up, especially when they have special events. Now, nobody calls a makeup artist every single day. True or true? Oh, come on, ladies. You won't call a makeup artist every single day. So they can depend on the hacks for their daily goings, but when they have events, that makeup artist that has been very useful to them will be their go-to person. So you're making money from them calling you whenever it is they call you. You're also making money from having your page monetized, and then that's going to make you visible. Once you are visible, anything else is possible. Anything else is possible. We have a young lady who used to be in this church. In fact, she used to be in the choir, who was quite good, makeup, and it opened doors for her. She started making up the governor's wife. Then one time, governors' wives came to Cross River, and the governor's wife, who has been patronizing her, got her to come and make up other governors' wives. I mean, all you need is to be visible. And when you're visible, many things are possible. So that's one way you can make money big time. And even when you're not called, you're still making money because you have viewership, people are following your videos. And like I said, it has to be creative. So what do you need? What are the competencies? Public speaking skills. You know, someone thinks, oh, I just make people's faces and I do it really good. But can you talk about it? That's a different thing entirely. So that's where you're going to pay me to teach you public speaking. Right? So that's where she's going to pay me to teach her public speaking so that she can market her art in a way that is interesting. Then there are other ideas. The other ideas will be how you appear, because people of skill sometimes allow their creativity to remotely revolve around the skill alone. They don't sell their person. But in marketing psychology, it is thought that people buy into the person before they buy into their product. So the makeup artist who's very likely going to be followed online on social media will be someone who acts interesting. In the psychology of interpersonal relations, it is said that people have a way of connecting with those who act like something nice is happening in their lives. Do you understand that? So yes, you have the skill, but you have the personality. Because in social media, you're not only going to sell the skill, you're going to sell personality. Oh yes. Social media followership functions a lot through the instrumentality of curiosity. Somebody say curiosity. So you have people like, let me see. I follow some food people on Instagram. Diary of a Kitchen Lover is one. Yeah, Diary of a Kitchen Lover. There's somebody else I follow. I'm trying to remember her name. Oh, well, I mean, there's so many. But, I mean, I follow like maybe 2, 3. But one of the ones I follow that I remember, Diary of a Kitchen Lover. And you find many different things. Beyond food, you find the theatrics. You would see them acting something. So you see other skills that they leverage to sell the main thing. So you have to be very creative at it. Let me ask you a question. How about randomly getting on the street with someone following you with a camera, where you're randomly stopping people and telling them you can make them up in 1 minute for free? And it's a mix of, oh, no, I'm not interested. Oh, yes, why not? You know, and you have this video and you caught it very beautifully. How about if you're in a Molue bus, making someone up in a Molue bus? Somebody wants to watch what you're showing. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the kind of creativity that gets attention. So it takes you beyond the skill and it makes it an art. There is the act, there is the art. A-R-T. Have I helped you?
Thank you, sir.
I will close with travel boxes. So Randy sells travel boxes. If you're going to sell travel boxes, you need to connect with travelers. Depending on the kind of boxes you sell, right? Because there are middle, high, low, luxury. People who travel with 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐭'𝐥𝐥 don't buy the luxury boxes. They don't buy the luxury boxes for obvious reasons. You're going to ruin it because you can't spend all that money and ruin it. And even people who travel by air a lot, see, the kind of experience I have with boxes. Sometimes you buy one box now and you can't travel with it on the next trip because it's been malhandled. And these people that pack boxes, some of them will not make heaven. Because they just take your box, they throw the box anyhow. So we've had to add something to it. If I can't carry it on, if I have to check it in, depending on the situation, sometimes you have to wrap it. So you pay a little money and wrap it so that it has this, cellophane covering around it, so that no matter how they throw it, it's that thing that is scratched, not the box. That's one way you can save your box a little bit. All right? So depending on what the box is, whether it's luxury, medium, or the base one, that will determine who you're selling to. Now, where do you find the people who need the boxes?
Because it's a wholesale business.
Oh, it's
that I do.
wholesale.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a different question entirely now. Okay. If it is wholesale, Randy, then you're going to be targeting people who have boutiques, shopping malls, and people who are in those kinds of spaces, right? Yes. And if you're already selling in a place like Calabar, there's one mall. There's one mall. Unfortunately, one. The other places they call malls are not malls. They're just places, So there's one mall and a few other places. So you are limited. You are limited. You have to speak to the people maybe who sell clothing, the people who sell, different stuff, or maybe even the mall itself so that you can advertise your thing. So, but you're limited. Another place where you may want to put out your boxes, maybe the airport. The thing about the airport is, now, in almost every airport I've been around the world, there's always a place where they sell boxes. Have I needed to buy a travel bag in an airport? Yes, but what are the chances? I don't think I've done that in my very many years of traveling. I don't think I've done that up to 3 times, right? So the chances are slim because people pack their boxes from home. No one comes to the airport hoping to buy a box. There are very few people who would do that. However, it's one way you can advertise. So for wholesale, it has to be supermarket situations, mall situations, or things like that. Or again, maybe advertising it on social media. So, but why don't you create a retail part of the business?
because we sell to retailers here, like in Calabar Mall, I have like 90% of all the boxes there comes from me. Then we have
90% of all the boxes in Calabar Mall come from. Then what are you looking for again?
So, so I still have like Tropicana, then Port Harcourt.
Okay, so I would say expand your market beyond the city. Go to other places. Port Harcourt is a lot bigger than Calabar. And they also have more malls than Calabar. Uyo has a lot of money. They don't know what to do with it. That is the truth. They don't know what to do with their money. So if you position in places like that, Uyo has a lot of fancy places. They just set up those places to collect people's money. Really. Sometimes the services are not even really worth it. Yes, I kid you not. So a place like Uyo, Port Harcourt, which is around the zone where you can easily go monitor what's happening. So I would say expand a little bit. And then there are some places in the east that are quite bubbly now. Places like Enugu, places like Enugu. Yeah, but Onitsha is already, if you're going to go to Onitsha, you have to be a big fish, a very big fish, right? Onitsha is they already have a lot of people doing that. So, but I'm looking at other places where maybe they don't have too much of that already. And so that's what I would say. With these few points of mine, I hope. Okay. Thank you, people. The only mistake I've made in this service is that I didn't send you out. Okay, so make sure next Sunday you come with someone. Are you blessed? Did you learn something? The guy for phone accessories, I'm so sorry, I'm limited by time. You have a question. Hopefully that's the only question. What's your question? There's a microphone coming to you. And by the way, before you ask your question, if you sell phone accessories, I don't know what kinds of accessories, what grade of accessories, that will determine where you market. If it's basic accessories, I would say open a store in the university campuses. People, now, Unical has over 40,000 students, over 40,000. So if you had like a stand maybe in the hostel area and then maybe in the school area or something, that will work. Also social media targeting people in the city within a certain age range. And then if you do something like home delivery, and that's up to you to work out. Yeah, because if you're going to do home delivery, I don't think you want to sell 1,000 and do home delivery, right? It has to be within a certain range. Maybe from this amount to this amount, we can do home delivery or something. There has to be ideas with which you can reach people. What's your question?
Okay, so it's not, okay, it's not a question, Sharp.
You said you had a question. Okay.
Okay.
Tell me.
So you asked a question last Sunday about cocoa, the people that are buying the cocoa and
yes.
who are they selling to. Mm-hmm. I made a research on my own. And
okay.
I found out that cocoa is being bought.
Can you be more audible?
I found out that cocoa is being bought by companies like Nestle, who buys them and processes it to products like Milo and
chocolate drinks and
every other product. And why they do give vendors to go source for it in larger quantities, because most of those companies could produce like thousands of tons per hour. So they will really need it in larger quantity in order to meet up their market strength. So that's just it.
Okay, so you did a research based on what I said. Fantastic, thank you, and you did a good job. So the other companies that buy are companies outside of Nigeria. Those ones will pay in dollars. And that's another place you want to do a research. And I think when I asked that question, I was focusing on the exporters. Yes, Nestle will buy cocoa. They'll buy plenty of cocoa. And if they give you an LPO to supply them cocoa, that's fantastic. But there are companies outside. Switzerland does not produce cocoa, but they're the world's biggest producer of chocolate. They're the world's biggest producer of chocolate. So they buy a lot of cocoa. But what companies in Switzerland buy cocoa? Who do they buy from? How can I get an LPO to supply cocoa to those kinds of companies, right? The US is full of chocolate. Switzerland, chocolate. The UK is full of chocolate. They definitely buy cocoa. Who buys? How do they buy? How can I make them give me an LPO to supply to where I'm selling to them and earning in dollars? That's another place we need to research as well. So good job, but let's keep researching and let's get to the place where I now know who wants to buy 200, maybe a ton of cocoa, and they're asking me to supply. Right? Alex, do the mathematics. You'll be a happy man for a long time. All right, people. Thank you very much for being in this class.